for this first part, -1 is greater than or equal to x. X isn't listed first. So you have to know that you would look at it the other direction. Remember, because you don't know which way the arrows go unless with your inequality sign the variable is listed first. If the variable's in the middle, that doesn't work. Okay, see how these two have the variable listed first? Okay? Then the way the inequality is showing is the way they're pointing, right? But you could write the same inequality like this. Those those three things in the box are the same, Jasmine. Do you see how you can't point the arrow in this direction? You can't point -1 is greater than or equal to x because the arrow would go to the right instead of to the left, and that's not true.
So if the arrow for like x is greater than 2,
If it's eating the 2, then that would not be an or statement anymore. It would be an and statement.
Do you want to see how it's an and statement, Jasmine?
No, you've been doing this for 5 minutes. Point away from each other 4, towards each other and. Okay? So, the whole point is, if it's written like this, you can't point the arrows towards which way the inequality is. Okay. Turn it over. Let's look at our word problem. Example 4 states, a baseball is hit up in the air. Its initial velocity is 64 feet per second. Its velocity in feet per second after t seconds is given by velocity t equals -32t plus 64. Make a table that shows the velocity of the baseball for the whole numbered values of t from 0 to t4. Okay, so all we're doing is we've got this equation. Velocity equals -32t plus 64. We want to make a table where we plug in t from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And find out what the velocity is. So this is probably where a calculator comes in really handy. Because all you're going to do is plug those numbers in for t. When you multiply -32 times 0 and then add 64 to it, what do you get? 64. 0 plus 64 is 64. Now if you take -32 times 1 plus 64, you're going to get 32. -32 times 2 plus 64 gives you 0. Okay, that means 0 seconds, it's going 64 feet per second in the air. Okay, it's a ball going straight up in the air. After 1 second, it's only going 32. After 2 seconds, it's going 0. Which means now it's going to start falling. Good. So now I got -32 times 3 plus 64 equals -32. That means it's falling back towards the earth at 32 feet per second. Now I'm going to multiply that by 4. 4 times -32 plus 64 is giving me -64. Okay, so now it's falling back towards the ground at 64 feet per second. Okay, now we're going to answer example 5. Find the values for t which the velocity of the ball in example 4 is greater than 32 feet per second or less than 32 feet per second. So we're going to stick x in the middle. What does x has to be greater than what number to be greater than 32 32 feet per second going in the air. What seconds does it have to be for it to be greater? X has to be less than, or, well, let's just say less than 2. Okay? If it's been less than 2 seconds, I know it's going more than 32 feet per second. And if it's greater than 2, okay, I know it's going to be less than 32 feet per second. Okay? Putting some physics in there, making you think a little bit. All right, you should get out your what? Your notebook so you can do your writing.